We're here at Walker's Point Center for the Arts with Rafael Francisco Salas to see his new exhibition, Wasted Days, Wasted Night, here and also at Portrait Society Gallery. But believe you me, it's not a waste at all. Let's go, look at this. So Rafael, you have a new body of work and it represents sort of a departure from some of your early styles, but there are elements of continuity. What were some of the inspiration?
It is a departure. I'm working in 3 dimensions. I have an audio component, there's video elements, but the work is really based on the paintings I've been doing for years and years. Elements of the landscape of rural Wisconsin and also connections to religious iconography and objects of devotion. An additional element that is present in this show is cultural identity. I've been discussing my mixed race heritage growing up as a Mexican American in Wisconsin. So the title of the exhibit is called Wasted Days and Wasted Nights, which is a song written by Freddie Fender, who's a Mexican American musician that I listened to very often in the 70s. He kind of reminds me of like a Mexican Elvis, lots of glitter, lots of glam that he had. And my family, my father in particular, listened to him all the time when I was a kid. I kind of connected that image of he as an artist to this sort of father figure here, so it becomes kind of an allegorical portrait of Freddie Fender himself. Much of the exhibit is devoted formally to an artwork by Jan van Eyck, which is called the Ghent altarpiece. So this figure faces a figure of the sacred lamb up at the front of the gallery, and they're meant to sort of connect visually to that artwork. Like a lot of the work in the show right now, they're often titled after country music songs or rock and roll songs. This one is called You're Invisible Now, which is actually a reference to Bob Dylan's like a Rolling Stone. And I use that to kind of connect ideas of the American landscape and our feelings of that. You know, Bob Dylan's lyric, You're Invisible Now, kind of relates to these ideas of kind of freedom or travel that we might have connected with Ginsberg or Jack Kerouac or whatever, these notions of freedom. Often what we find in rural America is sort of this post-industry or development that is messy or poorly designed. Like a Rolling Stone in the middle of a gas station parking lot has a kind of melancholy attitude towards it. It becomes kind of an anti-heroic gesture. My artwork deals with the landscape in sort of that way. These elements of kind of aspirations that have someone called awry.
So Rafael, we're not at Walker's Point Center for the Arts anymore. We're in the next part of the exhibition. We're at Portrait Society Gallery. Tell us about some of the pieces around us.
Yeah. So as Walker's Point was devoted more to the landscape, more to exteriors, this portion of the exhibit kind of comes in, and we're looking at a space that is meant to evoke really a Mexican roadhouse. My grandparents, as immigrants from southern Texas and Mexico, owned a Mexican restaurant in Watoma, Wisconsin, and this is kind of a poetic recreation of that. So we see bull's horns and matadors, velvet paintings, which were in fact some of the first paintings I ever saw as a kid, and a ton of wood paneling, which is, to me, is this kind of ubiquitous signature of my upbringing in Wisconsin. But it was really fun to sort of create this environment with those different parts.
And about putting this all together, something specifically for the space of Portrait Society. I guess you were saying that you had plans in mind, but this is the first time it's actually been all together?
Yeah, I mean, I had the dimensions of the gallery that Deb Bremer, the owner of the gallery, sent to me. And I'd seen the space many times, but I built it all in the studio at home. And so I wasn't sure how it would look exactly until I got here.
That sign, is that from your memories?
Yeah, very actual. I mean, there is a lot of autobiography in the show, and so that neon sign was the sign to my grandfather's restaurant. It said Salas Eat.
And it comes together really wonderfully well. Rafael, thank you again so much.
Thanks so much.
It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ken.
And so this visit Portrait Society Gallery, visit Walker's Point Center for the Arts to see Rafael Francisco Salas. Wasted days, wasted nights. See you next time when we'll look at something else.